First thing about muddy water is that there's no such thing as too muddy. Generally, when talking fishing, everything is kind of generally, you know, there's no such thing as too muddy, except when it's too muddy. I mean, see, everything's general. It's kind of the only muddy water I don't like to mess with, and the only muddy water I think is useless, is that muddy water that's coming out of a field. And we talked about that earlier. If I got something coming out of a field, coming out of a ditch, that is pure mud and water, and you can see the sediment and the mud and the rocks and the clouds, and it's all just turning in the water, that is junk water. That's not even muddy water. That's junk. Leave it. Guarantee it is probably junk. If you can see things in the water that you can grab, if you can see mud, that's not what we're talking about. That is junk water. Let it be. But if it's now, once that water settles down after a day or two and chills out, that'll be good water. Just as long as I can see that this water's settled. Muddy water on the top, clear on the bottom, where you hit your trolling on it, it's a big mix. I don't like to mess with none of that. But if water's settled, if that's what that water is and it's that muddy, I'll fish it. New muddy water coming from fields, from drainage that I can touch and see, I don't like that muddy water. I stay away from that muddy water. Even in muddy water, they have to eat. So you may not kill them in muddy water. So you may not catch. You may have to work a little more. But they have to eat. So sooner or later, they got to bite. The best way that I have found to fish muddy water is to find clear water. And that's especially on rivers. What'll happen is as that water's coming up or whatever's going on, the water's muddying up, you'll find little pockets of clear water. And a lot of times that's where those fish will get to. They'll get that muddy water. It seems like presses all those fish into those little pockets. The only problem with that is when I find a clear water, so do you, and you got like 50 boats in the same little pocket. So that can get kind of, at times that can be a downturn. But generally speaking, when you can find isolated clear water in muddy water situations, that is a deal. And I'm not talking about running 20 miles down by the dam and finding all kind of clear water. I'm talking about a half an acre of clear water inside a backwater, something like that. That is probably the best way to catch them in muddy water, is to find the clear water. That's what we're talking about right here. Give you a good scenario of what I'm talking about. I was at the Red River. I guess it was Pool 3, 2005 or so. And there's a backwater right here, and the main river comes in, and it's pumping muddy water into the backwater. Muddy water into the backwater. That was clear. So as this muddy water's pumping in, shooting in, but all the clear water is shooting in, getting muddy, and it's taking that clear water and it's taking over. And the only thing that was clear was about a half an acre section in this left-hand corner. That was the clearest water, and everything else was pumping mud into the rest of this backwater. All the shine, everything started coming into this pocket of clear water. And it was easy. I think that first morning I had like 17 pounds and like an hour and a half with all of the, because it looked like all the life was going in there. All this mud was coming in here. And that half acre, I caught like 17 pounds on a spinnerbait that morning. And the next day, just so happens, people started creeping in on me. Fishing went bad. But that one little pocket of clear water was the key. What is muddy water? To me, muddy water is water that's dirtier than you're comfortable with.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluzek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.